so excited to do this video, you guys. This is the video that is going to give you the recipe or the concoction to eliminate PMS, symptoms, cramping, bloating, all of that. So I'm so excited to share it with you guys. And for men, if you're watching, I'm sure you're like, let me get this juice down so I can get it to my wife, my girlfriend, my cousins, my aunties, whoever you know. If you know a female, please send her the video. She will thank you for it. So anyway, as for those of you who don't know, I discovered this recipe or cocktail when I was doing my juice fast on day one. Day one, I started my cycle, and I was really freaked out because I didn't want to be tempted, you know, to eat. I thought, oh my goodness, what am I going to do? Because if I take my medicine, you know, the cramp medicine, you know, whatever, your Advil, whatever, you need to eat and have food in your stomach, and I'm on a juice fast. So I just prepared to hunker down. I thought I was going to have the worst cycle ever, and then I got no symptoms whatsoever, not one. So I did the research, and I was trying to figure out, like, I wonder if anybody else has had this experience. And it turned out I found several different blogs on women that had the same experience. They usually have bad cycles. They were doing the juice fast, got no symptoms. Certain things and certain tips that I didn't know, so I'm going to share these with you guys, that you should not do when you're on your cycle. And apparently, it turns out that the worse you eat, the worse cycle you will have. So if you're eating the foods that actually trigger poor PMS symptoms, then or bad PMS symptoms, you will have a worse cycle. You're supposed to eat lean and clean right before your cycle and during your cycle, which helps to restore your body's balance so it can deal with all the influx of what's going on inside of it. So that's one tip that I didn't know. They also suggest that you take a multivitamin because zinc, calcium, and B vitamins help to reduce cramps, bloating, and other menstrual symptoms. I personally didn't take any multivitamins when I'm on my juice fast because I just want the food to be my vitamins, and it still worked. But probably because what I was consuming had lots of zinc, calcium, and B vitamins in them. So, also another trick is warm tea relaxes the muscles, and honey is a natural pain reliever. Who knew? I didn't know honey was a natural pain reliever, but I didn't have any honey on my juice fast, but it still worked. Pineapples contain enzyme bromelain, which can aid in muscle relaxation. Vitamins B6 help with cramp relief, and bananas and walnuts have B6 in them. Vitamin E helps to relieve inflammation, and seeds and nuts are a good source of vitamin E, as well as kale and leafy greens. And calcium helps to prevent PMS symptoms. And a good source of calcium, of course, as you know, oranges obviously, but also kale and broccoli have calcium in them. This is the list of foods that you should avoid during PMS or right before because they will actually trigger you to have a worse cycle. They are foods high in sodium, sugar, flour-based products, chocolate, fries, fat and additives, caffeinated beverages, breads and pastas, alcohol, aged cheese, and foods that are rich or anything with preservatives. So that list, you guys, a lot of us tend to eat, and I think that's why a lot of us maybe have bad symptoms. However, when I was on my juice fast, I ate none of that stuff, and I only ate the foods that were good for me to prevent PMS and prevent the pain and bloating. So, drum roll. Here are the foods that are actually good and help to prevent those symptoms, PMS, bloating, and pain. They are pineapples, celery, fennel, ginger, leafy greens that contain magnesium, and beets. And you guys, a great thing about beets and a huge tip about beets is beets are also good to help prevent heart disease, which is the #1 killer for African American women. I think as well as non-African American women, it's top 3. So get your beets in, you guys. They will help reduce your pain, and they will also help protect your heart. I want you to try this recipe, and I want you guys to try eating lean 3 days before your cycle starts. And incorporate one of these every day, like just a juice, one of these. Make this recipe in juice once a day with this, and of course during your cycle. And I want you guys to tell me if it works, if you found that your symptoms were reduced. So once again, 3 days prior to getting your cycle, avoid all the foods on the bad list or you have bad PMS symptoms list, and drink this smoothie. And then during your cycle, eat the foods that are on the good list as well as drink this once a day. And tell me if your symptoms are reduced. I want to really know if I'm onto something here. It seems like other women are saying the same thing, but if this is like the solution, then yay! Okay, let's get to juicing.
Okay, YouTube, so here's the recipe for the CrampTini.
You're going to go ahead and core one apple, remove the seeds because the seeds will be toxic if you juice them. Then you're going to add a handful of kale and a larger handful of spinach. And then you're going to add your apples, and you're going to wash your beets thoroughly and peel the outside of them with the peeler. And then you're going to add your beets and one heaping chunk of ginger, as well as a banana. After that, you're going to put a cup of ice in and about a cup to a cup and a half of water, depending on how liquid you like your smoothies. Now let's go ahead and blend it up in the Vitamix. Grab your tamper. I start from the four corners and get everything down towards the blades nice and liquidy. And here we go. Let's take a test. I already know. It's very tasty.